One of my favorite ways to quilt a quilt is using the stippling stitch, which is basically just a free-form meandering around your quilt. A couple things that you need to get started are a stippling or darning foot. This has kind of an opening in the center for the needle, and then it moves up and down with the needle. So you need one of those, and then you're going to want to drop your feed dogs. And on my machine, that's right here. Just move that over and it drops those feed dogs down so that you control where the fabric goes, not the machine. And after your quilt is all ready to go in your quilt sandwich, you should have it all pinned together with the layers of your backing, your batting, and then the top. And you've got safety pins. I like to use the special kind of bent safety pins for quilting. And then you just have to remove them as you go. When I do a stippled quilt, I usually start on one end and go up the entire edge of it and then move over and do another strip all the way up. So I've already done the first strip here. And you can see it's about this wide. It doesn't have to be perfect or uniform. In fact, the less uniform it is, the better. And then you just want to start kind of next to it for the next little line. There we go. And you're going to move kind of quickly. If you go too slow, your stitches may be too long, too far apart. So you want to kind of practice this until you feel comfortable moving the needle pretty quickly, because the quicker you move, the easier it is to really keep a consistent stitch length. So I'm going to lower my needle into the fabric. I've already got my presser foot down. And then I'm just going to start sewing. And you can see that I'm just kind of drawing on top of the quilt in a really random fashion. It does take some practice. I usually wear my quilting gloves for this for good reason. Sometimes hard to move the quilt in the way you want. It is nice to have the side you're not using kind of rolled up so it's not in your way. I forgot to do that. And like I said, you do want to practice this. I maybe practice this for an hour or two just on scraps of fabric until I felt like I had the free motion part down. To be really careful of is not crossing, at least in my style. I don't ever want to cross another line of stitching, and sometimes you have to think quick and move quickly to avoid going over another piece. Not that it really matters and not that anyone really notices once it's done, but that's something I try not to do. But of course you might try and like it all kind of crisscrossed and it would be a different look, but I think it would be something you might want to try out and see how you feel about it. If you come close to a pin like I just have, lower your needle and get rid of that pin. I got really close to that pin. There we go. So I'm just going to continue up the entire side of this quilt, the length of this quilt, and then I will start back at the bottom and do another strip up. And I will show a picture at the end of the finished quilted part. But that's it. So get out some scrap fabric and try practicing, because this really is such a versatile quilting stitch. You can use it on baby quilts and fancier quilts, and it looks nice once it's washed and it's kind of puckered. It just is a really nice simple stitch that works for almost anything. So, and I also always just go right over the top of my applique pieces when I'm doing this stitch, which just makes it really easy not to have to worry about going around or stopping and starting. So there you go. That's the stippling stitch. Good luck.